Like that, was how Teal and Jem decided to see inside of the Boral's place, because in the last day of the last summer, when Deals was going to come back to his home, they decided, Jem and Deal, to go and peep a little bit in the house of Borales. Scout went with them, but when they tried to do it, boom! A shotgun sounded, and they run all the way out of the house. After a few moments, they saw all the county was in the same house, thinking, what happened? Why shot a gun Nathan Radley? Because he's the brother that shot the gun of Bo Radley. But what happened was that in that process, Jem lost his pants. So when they went again and they went to the house, Scout and Jem, and were sleeping, Jem decided through the night go again to the house of Bob Rowley and take his pants back. But the problem was that he lost his pants in a fence and they were stripped. But now, when he found it, they were very well done and were fixed. That happens in the chapter number 6. Oh, yeah. Like that is how Jem and Scout were finding things in the knot hole of the tree in the Boat Riley's home, in the Boat Riley's place. What happened was that when they come back to the school for the next year after the vacations, summer vacations, they started to go out of the school at the same time because now Scout was in the second grade. So they go out at the same time with Jem. When they were coming back through the Boat Riley place, they were going again to that knot hole that is in the tree that is in Boat Riley's place, where they have find a lot of things they liked. Under a long time, they decided why not to write a letter in order to say thank you to that person that gave us all that beautiful things that are in that knot hole. When they write the letter and try to go to the knot hole to the tree, they found out the hole of the tree was filled with cement that in that tree was filled with cement by Nathan Radley because the tree was giant, something that Atticus, Jem Scout's father, wasn't disagree. After that, they felt so sad because they wanted to say thank you, and now they do not have now the things that could have had if they continue having that knot hole of the tree. That happens in chapter number 7. It was the first time in a lot of decades that it snowed in Jacobs County. Jem and Scout did a snowman that was very similar to Mr. Avery, one of the neighbors in the Macomb County. It was really funny, to be honest. But what they didn't expect, what was going to happen in that same night. When Scout was sleeping, his father, Atticus, waked her up and said, "Come on, we need to come out of the house." The three of them, Scout, Atticus, and Jem, go outside of the house and saw that Mrs. Muddy's house was burning. At the end, of course, end like this match, burned. Something important happened there. It was like when no one was noticing, somebody or something like Bo Radley put a blanket up Scout's back to make her more warm. Nobody knew, and Scout was telling himself it was Bo Radley. The next day, Scout and Jem wanted to help Miss Muddy in order to help her with his burned house. But she was happy that the house was burned. And it was not really so sad for her. She wanted like to have a new beginning. That happens in the chapter number 8. You're strong. You're strong. Tell me, you know, you can do it. You're strong. You cannot let your emotions affect you. That is what Atticus said to Scout, because Atticus was defending a black man named Tom Robinson And probably because of the racism, and because probably Tom Robinson was going to be losing that trial, a lot of people starting to say bad things about Atticus and trying to taunt also Scout. She is very sentimental, and a lot of things that the people say to her about his father made her furious, but she needed to control her emotions. So, what happens is that in a Christmas, when Uncle Jack, brother of Atticus, comes for Christmas, and all the family goes to the Finn's Landing, where was the Aunt Alexandra, sister of Atticus, and his cousin Francis, there Francis started to bully her about how Atticus is defending a black man. She couldn't resist more and hit the face of his cousin Francis. After that, his uncle, Jack, made her repress her and punish her. After they talked in the house, back in the house of Scout, and told him that it was not the best because he didn't understand why she was angry and punched Francis. After, when she was sleeping, Atticus and Uncle Jack were talking in the living room. Scout heard it all. They were talking about how Atticus doesn't really know if he's going to win that trial. But even though if he wins or not, he wants Scout to be calmed. After that, Atticus knows that Scout is there and says to her, "Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Scout." After a few years, Scout will know that all the words she heard from Atticus in that night were meant to her because Atticus knew from the beginning she was there. That happens in the chapter number 9. That was a nice shot, but not as nice as Atticus' shot to that mad dog. Atticus was nearly 50s, and his sons, Scout and Jim, were questioning, is he a good father? He can do more things now that he's so old, because he was half blind, and he couldn't really play so much games with her sons anymore. So, what was the fun with this father? It's no longer interesting, they thought, because in one season that was not for mad dogs, a mad dog appeared. Everyone in the county closed doors, nobody go out, because in those times mad was deadly. After a few moments, the chief officer came in a car with Atticus. With the help of the gun of the chief officer that gave Atticus, Atticus aimed, half blind and nearly 50, aimed the mad dog and without missing like I have missed now. He hit the dog and killed it, showing his sons that he has more to show, even though he has more than 50 years. But the question was there. Why to hide he has a good aim? Why to hide was the death shot of Jacobs County? He didn't like to say that he can kill. He didn't want to use that aim. That was the question Scout and Jem did to themselves. What will happen next? What other things will happen with Bo Rowley, Scout, Jem, Dill? We will see a new house for Miss Molly? All that and more. We will see it in the next video on the next 5 chapters. Bye, teacher!